there are different ways that you can live your life, right? I mean, sometimes you decide that you are going to live your life according to your profession. Sometimes you decide that you are going to live your life according the values that your family gave you, and sometimes you decide that you are going to try it like from a different perspective, from a very different point of view, and you decide that you are going to put some different classes that allow you to, you know, just to embrace life in a very different way. And that's exactly what Tantra is. Tantra is part of everything, and at the same time is part of anything. It belongs to nothing and embraces everything. So Tantra, it's kind of hard for me to talk about Tantra, because I don't talk about Tantra with anybody unless I'm having a class and I have my students and they are like taking a class, and according to the class that I'm going to give, then of course that I share a part of you know, the tantric philosophy, a part of tantric history, and some exercises and such. But right now what I'm doing here is something that is completely different, because I'm going to share Tantra just the way it is, okay? And Tantra goes beyond everything. Tantra goes beyond sexuality. Tantra goes beyond medicine. Tantra goes beyond psychology. Tantra goes beyond philosophy. But it has everything. I'm going to share with you the way I started this tantric way, and I mean, everything started when I was about 9 years old. I know I was pretty young, and actually I think that I started even earlier, because when I was a little girl, and this is going to be sort of like a very raw topic for me to talk about, but I have to do it because I have to give you context of the way that I've been living Tantra, okay? So when I was about 3-4 years old, I was pretty young, and I was a girl who was very in touch with herself. I remember most of my thoughts, and I remember that there was something answering my questions, and you know, like sharing with me like I don't know, it's really hard for me to explain it, but when I was about 3 or 4 years old, one day I was watching TV, and I felt the need of going to the bathroom. I wanted to go to you know, to pee. and I mean, I'm hopefully you are going to try to hear my words from, you know, with maturity, because I hope that the people, or the person who I mean you, who is watching these videos and who is willing and able and sort of like open to receive the tantric way, you are going to be mature enough to at least listen to what I'm trying to share with you from, you know, from the heart, from the soul. I would love I would love for you to open your mind a little bit and to put aside or set aside your thoughts and the chit chat and the questioning that the mind sometimes starts shooting us with all of these questions and comments and everything. So if you feel that it is already something pretty strong for you, I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath in, and you are going to breathe out. You are going to allow that prana that you're going to release throughout your breath, throughout your exhalation, to let go of everything. Okay, just allow yourself to be here in the moment. If you want, you can keep your eyes closed, or if you want, you can open them. It's okay. I'm a little bit nervous, but okay. So I wanted to go to the bathroom. I wanted to pee, but I was watching Pink Panther. I was watching this cartoon, and that episode was one of my favorite episodes. So I didn't want to go to the bathroom because I was going to miss that episode. And you know that sometimes when you feel like going to the bathroom, you start that when you feel that you can't contain yourself any longer or anymore, you grab you grab or you hold your parts or whatever with your hand, and this is a way wait, don't come out yet. So that's exactly what I did, but I was kind of moving, and it felt so good. It felt so good that I forgot about going to the bathroom. But this feeling was so overwhelming that I sort of disconnected myself from the TV, from Pink Panther, and I was there. I was still watching the episode and everything, but I felt this. I was happy. I was so happy. I was so I don't know, relieved. I don't know. It's a very strong memory, and it's a very clear memory of the way everything happened. So after that, I started doing the same thing on a regular basis. But even if I didn't have the necessity of going to the bathroom, I will do it, and I will get this overwhelming feeling of joy and happiness. And I was like, wow, it was something fantastic. Of course that I didn't have the vocabulary that I have right now, and I couldn't express it with words. So one day I was watching a movie, and I started doing it. I started moving, but I was doing it against the bed. I was rubbing myself against the bed, and my mother saw me, and she yelled at me. She was like, "Oh, you're so dirty, and stop doing that. That's wrong. That's bad. Blah blah blah." And I felt so sad. I felt so sad. I felt that as if my mother was disappointed at me. And so I stopped doing it. But later on, a few years after that, and a lot of things happened. But then few years later on, I started doing it again. Of course, that I was a little bit older, and my understanding was a little bit different. I was not feeling the same way as I felt that time when I was almost 4 years old, and of course that the feeling after all of those years that I stopped doing it, and then I was doing it again, it was like, wow, it was fantastic, okay? But it was something that was like flowing from within. It was it was just happening from within and then expanding, and it was wonderful. And then when I was 9 years old, I had my period. And of course that at that time I had a different understanding about things, and I already knew that was going to happen and everything. And it was a big change to me. My life changed completely. But of course that because of all of those feelings, all of those emotions, all of that, that orgasmic sensation that I was already experiencing. Of course that my first period was, I was very, very conscious of what was happening within me, and the way that my body was changing. So I embraced it, and actually I didn't tell my mother anything. She found it out, and of course that she shared it with everybody. She shared it with the family. That was pretty embarrassing. But at that time, before my period, I found a book. I found a book in my house. It belonged to my father, and it was about yoga. So I started using that book to do yoga, even though there were some practices there that I was already doing all by myself, like the meditations. Some of the meditations I started doing meditations when I was about 6-7 years old, more or less. I was in kindergarten and I didn't know what I was doing, but I used to do it, and it was great. I still remember all of the experiences and everything, and I somehow I felt very connected to something that was like stronger, or was like at a higher level than me, than my parents, than anybody in the world. But I was able to feel it around me, within me, especially in nature, in my dogs, the trees, flowers, and everything. So when I started doing yoga, and then I realized that some of the exercises that were there, I was already doing it. I was just like, I was so happy, I was fascinated, and I started doing the meditations and some of the asanas and everything, and then I had my period and everything, and a lot of things started happening. My life changed a lot. It changed so much. So this is like I'm sharing these experiences with me because with you, because I really, as I said before, I need you to have this context. I'm putting everything in context, so you can feel what Tantra means to me, and that I didn't learn Tantra with a teacher, or from a teacher. but from my inner teacher. And of course that later on, I had my very first tantric teacher, and yeah, but that is another story. So this is sort of like an introduction to this tantric course, and I mean, this is not easy for me to share with with anybody. This is something that it's very, I mean, it's kind of private, but I'm doing it because the way that you are going to, the tantra that you are going to receive is not a repetition of tantra, you know. It's not the tantra that you are going to find just like that in a book. It's not the tantra that you are used to learn. So yeah, this is like the introduction to this tantric course. So welcome. If you have any question, if you have any if you want to, I don't know, if you want to share something with me, you can get in touch with me through Telegram or WhatsApp. It'll be better if you do it through WhatsApp or email, because here I can't reply to the messages. I don't know if it's because of the platform, I don't know if it's because of the internet, I don't know, but I can't answer to the messages that are sent to me through this platform. So thank you very much. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for your presence, and I'll be sharing more with you in our next class. Thank you very much. Satnam, Satnam, Namaste. Bye bye for now. What is life? Some students have asked me, what is life, teacher? Well, this moment is life. This moment is when life is happening, is manifesting through your own experience, through your own context. And of course that if you are breathing, you are alive, right? To breathe, that is the first thing that we do when we are being born. And we did it previously when we were in our mother's womb. We did it through the cord, yeah, and we used to get like all of the nutrients and oxygen and everything through that cord that is cut the moment we are being born. And I mean, once we pass through that passage, right, and when we are physically in this dimension, in this plane, we are no longer in our mother's womb, we start breathing, right? Sometimes doctors provoke that breathing by, you know, spanking babies, and so the lungs start like expanding, and we start breathing, and it's wonderful. It's the first thing that we do, and it's the last thing that we do here on earth. Then we transcend, and breathing changes because you know, here on earth, you might be thinking that thing that you're breathing is air, and it is air. I mean, it's oxygen, but it contains much more. It contains like tachyons, particles. It has the consciousness of gravity. It has the wisdom of the cosmos. It has the wisdom of all of the things that are like communicating like around us and beyond. And that's what we are allowing to, you know, to get to our system through our breathing. And then that air, it is like transmuted yeah, and when we exhale, we are exhaling the toxins that have been processed throughout our lungs and our breathing system. So this is really interesting because, and I mean interesting, that is a very ambiguous word, but I'm using it because it is our interest to know how we work, how our bodies work for real. Yeah, because we are living, but we are not aware of everything that happens within our bodies, and we don't have to know everything. Okay, there are some things that are needed to be left to the divine, to that divine consciousness, because divine consciousness doesn't think as a human, because it's not human. We are talking about this, the consciousness of everything is something that goes beyond our human minds, and there is no reason for us to know everything, because within ourselves we have everything to function, and to what we are why we are here on earth is to accomplish the purpose of the soul, because the soul needs to learn what it feels like to be as part of matter, yeah? But of course that goes like beyond. This is just a phase, and the soul, our souls are eternal and they are endless. They don't die. They go back to the source, they go back to the divine, and then if we decide to come back, then we do it. But everything is a process. Everything is a process. It's just like when you are at school and you start learning about math, yeah? And the more you start learning, you question yourself and you question teachers. Why are you teaching me this if I'm not going to use it in my regular life? Well, how do you know? Because math is part of everything. If you study music, you are going to find math there. If you study arts, you are going to find math there. And math is part of our I'm so sorry, I'm so nervous. It's part of our biology. So, and it's the same thing. We don't know how our bodies work, and everything is happening within, but we are unaware of everything that is happening within. And we are just like receiving and creating thoughts that might block everything that is happening within, because most of diseases start in the mind, okay? And I'm saying that most of the diseases because there are some diseases that start in the soul. They start in the soul, in that part of you that has been hurt, that is your soul. So, and if we don't know how to heal it, we are just thinking that it's something else, but we are not taking action, and we are disconnected from the essence of our self, that is the soul. So, and how do I know this? Well, I'm an Ayurvedic doctor, and I've been studying Ayurveda for 10 years. I have a specialty as part of Ayurveda medicine, that is Vajikarana. Vajikarana is the same as if you went to a sexologist, okay? So that is my specialty, and actually I have to travel to India because I'm going to do some kind of internship at at an Ayurvedic clinic. And yeah, so I'm very excited about that, and of course that I'm going to my intention is to go to India and keep on sharing information from a very different perspective. But now what we are going to work with is with our breathing, because that is our base, okay? Our bodies are the base of life, and our breathing. So you have to know that we normally use only like 5 up to 10% of our lungs capacity, and we are not using our lungs to the fullest potential. Only few people know how to do it, and I dare myself to say that divers, but you know, like real divers, not the ones who use the oxygen all the time, but the ones who really know how to dive, yeah, they use their lungs at a very higher level, okay? So once we start learning the way breathing works, our lives start changing. And what Tantra does is that Tantra starts giving you like different glasses to put yourself on. It's like, okay, so you don't need these glasses anymore, but I'm going to give you these glasses. They might help you to see things in a different way. You might understand more. And when these glasses are no longer good for you, I'm going to give you some other glasses, and so on. So I'm going to start sharing with you the importance of breathing, because it's really necessary. Sometimes when we are very stressed out, when we are like very anxious, we are not helping the oxygen to get to our brains, yeah, and our brains start like feeling like they get stressed, they get all stressed out, and also the mind, that the mind is not the brain, is something completely different. But of course that the mind works with the brain, and once you start like realizing that you are suffering from anxiety, you start breathing deeply, and you have the intention of expanding that air, that prana, then your psyche, the way you think, the way your brain works, of course that it starts changing, and you can feel it. Once you start feeling it, then miracles start happening, okay? Because you get more, you are aware that you need to breathe, that you need more air, and that is a miracle. That is a miracle, because even if you're like, if some people, when they start like feeling like the beginning of a stroke, somehow they know what is happening, but they don't know how to express it. And of course that the heart is in pain, yeah, and it's a very strong pain, but it is connected with the stomach. So if you start like feeling your stomach weird, like the way I'm feeling it right now is my stomach, when I get nervous, it starts like making noises. You take a deep breath in, and you direct that air, that prana, to that part, yeah, you are going to feel like clearer. Your thoughts might get all clear out, and that's wonderful. And it's the same when, I mean, if somebody is like having a stroke, then if the person will start like breathing, the moment the person starts getting that weird feeling, the result might be different. Of course, that I'm not saying that that is the key to everything, but it helps a lot. It gives you more time to get the attention that you need. And that is very important, okay? Because when we start working with all of these, it doesn't mean that you don't need help. It means that you are somehow, giving yourself the time to go to a doctor or to go to a clinic so you can tell the doctor what is happening with you and you get the attention that you need, okay? And we can do all that through Tantra. It's very, very, I find it kind of, well, it is what it is, okay? I'm not going to say that it's sad or no. It is what it is. Tantra was somehow like destroyed, and Tantra used to be part of Ayurveda, and used to be part of medicine, because one of the things that Tantra teach the people who are interested in learning, and the way it used to be like few thousands of years ago, okay? People used to get like they used to learn Tantra so they could know what to do when they were like in a relationship, and to strengthen the relationship that we have with ourselves. But with all of the conquest and all of this stuff that have been happening throughout history, most of the tantric documents and everything that was like part of Tantra, all of this information was destroyed, and because it was scary, and they kept only the parts that were like useful for the people at that time. And I mean, they say, oh well, sexual positions. No, that is Kama Sutra, and Kama Sutra is a part of Tantra, but it is not Tantra. The reason why there are different positions as part of Kama Sutra is because sometimes the sexual organs, if the lingam or the man's sexual organ was like too short, it needed like a different position, so sexuality could be like felt or expressed or lived the way, I mean, in a better way, okay? And the same thing about the yoni. The yoni is the feminine sexual organ, okay? The same thing happened with the yoni, and that was something that was taught a few thousands of years ago, to certain people so they could improve their lives, with the purpose of procreating in a conscientious way, okay? So I'm going to keep on sharing, and for our next class we're going to start working with pranayama. That is the base of everything, and is the base of Tantra. So stay tuned, okay? Don't go away. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please, you can get in touch with me through Telegram or WhatsApp. Honestly, I prefer WhatsApp, so you can, it'll be easier for me to respond to your comments, or to give you like feedback, or to guide you in a more personal way, okay? Because through this platform, I can't do it. I don't know why. I've asked help, to the assistant area, but I don't know, they say that there is no problem. So I don't know if it's because of the platform, the internet, or what. But thank you very much, and I'll be, well, you'll be seeing me and in our next class. Thank you very much. Blessings, Satnam, Namaste. Bye bye for now. Bye. You know, like sedentary, and that's what it is. So yeah, I'm cooking, I'm sorry. And well, so I think that I'm going to leave the origins of Tantra just there, but I'm going to keep on sharing with you information about breathing, because that is really relevant to me. Okay, breathing, to breathe is something that we should learn, you know, from like just as the way we start like learning to walk and to talk, we should be taught how to breathe correctly, how to breathe efficiently. So what we are going to do, and I think that right now it's perfect for this class, because I'm here at the kitchen, and I love my kitchen. I mean, it's not very big, but I have sort of like the space and the freedom of doing whatever it is that I want to do. And well, you can start, like, if you are not at your kitchen, then try and find something, you know, like for instance, I have here this is a lemon, okay, and it smells great. So what we are going to do is that we are going to, if you have a lemon, or if you have a flower, if you can get, I don't know, if you have parsley. I also have parsley around, I mean, somewhere here in the fridge. And I have this onion, so that I just used for my I'm making broth, and so I have this onion. So what you are going to do is that you are going to inhale, okay? You are going to inhale deeply, and if the smell is not very nice to you, it doesn't matter. You can choose something that it's not doesn't make you feel weird, okay? So I'm okay with onion. I mean, I don't have any problems with onion. And we are going to breathe in, but we are going to do it like counting. Right now we are going to do it like in four. We are going to count till 4, and then we are going to hold our breath for 4 times, and then we are going to breathe out just 4 times. This is just for you to getting in touch with your breathing and with your breath, okay? So let's start. After you've done this, you're going to take a deep breath in, okay? Like without smelling the onion or whatever it is that you got for this exercise, for this activity. And just let it out, okay? Breathe out. Once again, breathe in normally without having the onion or whatever it is. And breathe out. Okay, so I need you to write down in a notebook whatever it is that you experience through this exercise, okay? And if you want to share this experience with me, I will be like delighted, like reading the result that you got out of this exercise. Please, so you know that I'm available on Telegram and WhatsApp. I prefer if you contact me on WhatsApp, because it's easier for me to answer to your messages like faster. Yeah, so and we're going to keep on doing this kind of exercise for some other classes, because it's really important to learn how to breathe correctly. But a person, the sadhana, a person who is starting to learn Tantra, the best way to start getting in touch with Tantra is through the breathing, through your own breath. Okay, so thank you very much. If you have any questions, any comments, please just send me a message, or you can also send me an email, and I'm going to try to answer to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much. Satnam Namaste. Bye bye. Hello, how are you? I hope that you are great. I hope that you are enjoying yourself. I don't know what day is today. I don't know when you are watching this, but I'm going to keep on talking, and I'm going to start like giving you like tools for you to use and strengthen your Tantra practice and the way you perceive Tantra. But the way that you're going to perceive Tantra is not going to be with the mind, okay? It involves everything. It involves your whole being. That's a reason why it is very important for you to start connecting with your breath. Your breath is the base of everything. Your breath, your breathing, and the more you connect with your breath and your breathing, with the air and the whole process, the more you are going to connect with Tantra. Okay, and there is like a mystical part within Tantra. This mystical part within Tantra, it really awakes you and awakens your whole being, and it has nothing to do with understanding, because it is not about the mind. It is more about letting everything just to happen, like everything to take place, to take its position, like a chess, like the board, and you set all the pieces and everything. That's the way it's going to feel like, okay? And the more you get this, but not with the mind, is more about feeling it, is more about opening yourself and just letting it to happen, okay? And so everything will start happening like naturally, just as when you were a child and you were like learning about life, about your surroundings, about the people who lived with you, and listening to them. And it's going to be the same, but this time it's going to be through your essence. That's the reason why it's really important to connect with your breathing in a deeper level, because your breathing is what is going to allow you to connect with your essence, with your being. It's not, of course that meditation helps and everything, but for some people, like, if you are starting, and if you are starting to walk this path, it can be a little bit difficult, because the mind won't stop like questioning
Some questions might like arise, and what we tend to do is that we start this conversation with the mind, and once we start having this conversation with the mind and answering the questions and interacting and everything gets very complicated because we lose focus, we lose the objective. So I'm not going to tell you, oh, you have to meditate like for 10 minutes. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to ask you to get in touch with your breathing, to make yourself aware of what is happening with you and what you feel every time you start like focusing your attention on your breathing, because as I said before, your breathing is the base of everything. So breathing is essential during this process. Your base is your breath, your breathing, and your body, and it's like a chain reaction. Okay, you start with your breathing, you start with your breath, then your body, then your spirit, and then the mind will follow. That's the way it is. It might take a little bit longer for some people, so don't get frustrated. Okay, just try to enjoy yourself. Try to give yourself the opportunity of learning from you, learning from yourself, learning who you really are. Okay, who is this person, this persona. And it's really interesting because the more you start learning about yourself, then that idea of that persona that you thought or that you think you are, it's going to start like vanishing. That is one of the hardest parts about Tantra, because it kind of awakes. I don't want to use the word to destroy. I don't want to use the word destroy, but it feels like that sometimes. It can be really overwhelming. It can be really tough, and that's the reason why if you have any question, if you have any comments, or if you are going through the process and you feel that it's like too much, just get in touch with me, and I'm going to try to give you some kind of feedback, okay, according to what you are experiencing, and of course according through my own experiences, because I have to mention again that I have to remind you that I've been applying Tantra, or I've been doing Tantra, or whatever that means. I mean, for like years and years, since I was a little girl. So I can give you some kind of feedback or guidance. Okay. So this means that it's going to start like this unity process. Okay. So you're going to be united with your own self. Then, of course, that, as I said, it's going to follow. There are some things that are going to happen, and because of you are going to be united with your own self, of course, that you are going to realize that some people don't have anything to do with your path, with the person that you are, and somehow they are dragging you, and you will have to decide if you are going to remain that way, because of course remember that we have our free will, and Tantra somehow it will push you to make yourself aware of your own free will. and according to the person that you are, according to your being, according to the being, to your essence, to the essence of your soul. That's, I mean, and I mean that's the way it is. Okay, so the unity process will start, and just as I was saying, as I said before, it is a process. Okay, so when we talk about processes, remember that you have to give yourself some time. You have to give yourself some space, and you have to learn how to make that space, because of course that life goes on. Life goes on with or without you. That's something that you have to not to understand, but you have to embrace. And it is good for you to learn how to make some space, because you might be facing some like moments that, because of everything that is happening within yourself and everything, you'll realize that you need to have your own, your own time for your own self, like to get in touch with your essence and to pamper yourself. That is something like that's something that Tantra gives you, and it's not Tantra's intention. It's something that follows, and because you learn how to love yourself, then you realize that you need more of yourself, more than anything, more than from anybody else, but from yourself. And to feel yourself, to get in touch with yourself, you might get into those moments that you are like, okay, so this is too much noise, too much this, too much that, too much energy, because you are going to start like to feel energy, because you will start learning about your own energy. And because you're aware of your own energy, then you are going to start like feeling the energy around you and within yourself. So that's also why I'm sharing all this with you, because we are going to start with this, going deeper, into that tantric knowledge. I'm going to give you these tools, and you are going to start like applying these tools. It is really, really easy, because everything starts with your breath and your breathing, and that's the way we are going to do it. So for this, you have to, well, you don't have to, okay, because I don't like forcing anybody. You are here because you decided to be here. I'm not forcing you to do anything, okay? So, but I'm going to share with you that it is important for the tantric, for the person who is trying to get into the tantric mode, let's put it that way. The air that comes through our nostrils, the oxygen and everything that is around, everything that we allow to get into our system through our nostrils is not just air, it's not just oxygen, and I mentioned it before. It is a living organism, okay? And because it is a living organism, of course that it has like a conscience of its own. It knows where to go, it knows what to do, it knows what needs to be cleaned, it knows, it has its own wisdom, yeah? And once we start like understanding this, we get into this like synchronicity. We start like getting this knowledge from this oxygen, air, but it's not only air, it's not only oxygen. That's the reason why it is called prana, because prana has a deeper meaning. It goes beyond the concept of gravity or the concept of air or the concept of oxygen, because of all of this information that comes, or that it's like within, okay? It has particles, and it is a very wise organism. It is wise, and it comes with life, yeah. So the more we embrace this prana, the more life we are going to feel, the more we are going to get out of this intelligent organism, okay? So when it connects with the inner body, okay, and when I say inner body, I'm talking about internal organs, our whole system, cells, molecules, atoms, blood, everything. Chemistry, of course, yeah, chemistry happens, and this might get translated into energy, light, and this kind of like electricity that is necessary for our body, for our mind, for our internal organs, for our whole being to be, okay? So and I mean, this is it is a miracle. This is a miracle. So we are going to connect with life through our breathing, okay? And we are going to do it by, of course, allowing ourselves to connect with our breathing at a deeper level. And so for this to happen, what we are going to do is that if you want, I'm going to ask you, if you want, of course, remember I'm not forcing anybody to do anything, but you can close your eyes, and when you start like closing your eyes, what you are going to do is that your focus, the focus of your eyes will go to your third eye, you know, between your eyebrows, and this point here is called the Ajna chakra, and it is really necessary because Ajna chakra, or the pineal gland, it's not really here, is inside of our brain, okay? It is like a gland, and it has the form or the shape of a pine. That's the reason why it is called the pineal gland. And this gland has this kind of follicles, you know, like hair, but very, very thin. And when you connect with it, and when you put some kind of pressure, that's the reason why we are, or I'm asking you to connect with that part of here, because this part of here connects us directly with the pineal gland. And what happens is that it gets stimulated, and when this stimuli happens, then something like miraculous occurs within this gland. It starts like vibrating, and it releases some natural chemical that is within itself, and it connects with other glands, and it goes all the way through our spinal cord, yeah, and through our whole body, and it provides the body with some kind of fluids and electricity that is necessary and vital for us to to be, our essence, okay? It awakens the soul. Why? Because then our heart, all of our system starts vibrating, and we get this we start connecting with our soul through our heart, okay? So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, of course, if you want to. And you are going to start getting aware or in touch with this air or prana. What you are going to do is you are going to take a deep breath in, and you are going to try to observe and let's use that word. Yeah, you are going to start becoming the observer of yourself, observer of the air. So you are going to feel where it goes. This air, this prana that is coming through your nostrils. You are just going to allow yourself to observe or to feel its path, where it goes. Just allow yourself to do this. And you are going to do the same thing as you breathe out. You can do it through your mouth or through your nostrils. As you allow yourself to do this, if you give yourself permission, to go deeper into the breathing, you can take a deeper breathe, grasping more air. And you are going to allow yourself to keep on following its path, where it goes. You are going to realize that the more air gets through your nostrils, the path changes. It expands. According to your being. Remember that this air, this prana, connecting with your being, knows where to go and what to do. So just allow yourself to follow it, free of judgment, just in a state of freedom. And this freedom will give you sort of like an awareness. Now take a deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. And little by little, allow yourself to come back to the present moment. Make yourself aware of where you are right now. Where is your physical body right now? Remember all of the things that are around you. If you have some kind of furniture, if you have curtains, if you are sitting on your bed or on the floor, and little by little start moving or wiggle the toes of your feet, your fingers, slowly move your head from one side to another, like very, very slowly. One more time, you're going to take a deep breath in, and you are going to contract your shoulders, like lifting them, as if you were trying to touch your ears with your shoulders. Hold your breath in for 4, 3, 2, 1, and release as you exhale. Slowly start like opening your eyes. Take your time. It's okay. And now allow yourself to be back here in the moment, in this present moment, right here, right now. And I'm going to ask you to take a notebook and please write down everything that you remember that happened through this exercise. This class is the introduction for a guided meditation that is going to be like the next class, okay? And during that guided meditation, we are going to do sort of like the same, but of course that I'm not going to be explaining to you this, about air and prana or anything like that. It's just going to be like the full exercise, the exercise, so you can like connect at a deeper level with your breathing, okay? And if you can, if it's possible, just get in touch with me, send me a message like through WhatsApp, and share with me what happened during this exercise, okay? Thank you very much. Thank you for your time, for your presence, and get ready because we are going to start with our exercise, and we are going to start like going deeper into this breathing and connecting with prana and with your essence, okay? That it's Tantra through yourself. Thank you very much. Bye-bye for now. Blessings. Satnam. Namaste. Bye-bye. Get yourself comfortable. I'm going to ask you to remain on a seated position. You can rest your back against the wall so you can feel that support and you feel secure, safe. And start taking deep breaths in and out. Give it a try and check what feels better. If you feel better or if it feels good by exhaling through your mouth or through your nose, then I'm going to ask you to take 3 deep breaths in and out. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Deep breath in and exhale. The last one, deep breath in and exhale. You are going to continue breathing in and out, but it's going to be at your own pace, free of control. Just allow yourself to connect with your breathing as it is, free of control, free of expectations. If you want to, you may close your eyes or you can leave them open as you wish. Just check what feels better at this moment for you. And little by little, you're going to connect with your own breathing. Slowly, free of expectations. Just connecting with it. And it feels right as you continue breathing in and out. You're going
to allow yourself to become the observer. Just following your breathing's path. As if you were walking with your best friend, just as a companion, just because it feels nice to be next to it. Breathing and as an observer, you are just following its path. Thoughts might arise. Questions, and this is totally normal. Just as if they were clouds, let them pass by, let them go. Feel the freedom of not getting involved with them. Feel the freedom of not having to answer or to have a conversation with them. Just let them go as if they were clouds in the sky, and as an observer, you can see the way they pass by, how they go. As you continue allowing yourself to observe your breathing, and from this observant state, you are allowing yourself to be in the present, in this moment. And the only thing that matters is your breathing.
to be in this position, the position of the observer. Allows you to connect with your breathing from a very different perspective. It also allows you to connect with your own self from a different perspective. You don't need to do anything. Just let your breathing to happen. Inhaling and exhaling, just as it is. Just let it happen as it is. Naturally, organically, imbalanced. In harmony. You have become the observer. You are the observer. I am the observer. I allow myself to be an observer right here and right now. Free of expectations.
free of attachments. Free of the control. Now, little by little, you are going to start coming back to yourself. I'm going to ask you to wiggle the toes of your feet. Now, keep on breathing in and out. And when you are ready, please move your fingers. Now, and you are going to start opening your eyes as you keep on breathing in and out. Your eyes are open, and 3, 2, 1. Now, oh.